Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again to meet our community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County, powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station with the only man who knows everybody, Mr. O.C. John Gutierrez.
Hey, everybody. Welcome again to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Senior Vice President John Gutierrez. And with us again, we have another great show. Today, of course, we want to make sure we let everybody know we are finishing up celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And today's podcast is sponsored and brought to you by Farmers and Merchant Bank. With us is our guest today, Mr. Dr. Raphael Gonzalez and Dr. T.K. Huynh. Welcome to our show, gentlemen.
Thank you very much for having us, and proud to be a Latino myself.
Yes.
And contribute to this community.
Okay, let's move this mic a little bit down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have him move it back just a little bit further.
Yeah, we're even hearing the breathing.
Yeah.
So no, first and foremost, of course, we want to make sure that we say to everybody, it's been a great Hispanic Heritage Month. As everybody knows, it kicked off September 15th, and it ends today, October 16th. And so,
can we keep it going if we want?
Well, we can't, can't party all day, every day. We do have a big event tonight, celebration. You guys are welcome to come to it.
Plug the event.
Viva la Cultura.
What is it?
So it's our Viva la Cultura event. So we'll be celebrating that. But let's focus on these gentlemen that we have today, because they have some really interesting things that we were talking about here. Of course, they're going to be having a big event October 25th.
Correct.
Through the 27th, right? And I just want to make sure I pronounce this right. Hermes Longevity Lounge?
Correct.
Yes. Is that correct? Okay.
It's actually Hermes. It's
Hermes.
the Greek god.
Well,
Hermes.
I don't want to say it the wrong way. So
Hermes.
I'm saying it the Latino way.
Latino way. That's what I would say. Yep.
It's a Greek god.
I'm saying it the Latino. It is Hispanic Heritage Month. Okay,
Right.
Paul? Take it easy. Take it easy. Real quick, I just want to plug in Farmers and Merchant Bank. It's been in business since 1907. Remembering what matters has always guided us on a steadfast path to growth and security. Thank you again, Farmers Merchant Bank, for always being a supporter of our Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Gentlemen, can we share with the folks here a little bit about who you are and a little bit of your history? I was talking to you guys off the show, and man, you guys have some pretty interesting resumes here. So if individually, one of you can share with us who you are and how you ended up in this industry.
Raphael Gonzalez here, and pleasure and honor to be able to help individuals. I've focused on my passion, my purpose, which is essentially science. I'm a scientist by trade out of University of California, Irvine. So right where we're at right now.
There you go.
I love it.
UCI.
And UCI.
Yeah.
Zot, and Eater.
There you go. Nice.
But focus on, I worked in regenerative medicine sector. I still work in the regenerative medicine sector. I've been in it for a little bit over 20 years now, and focusing on immune health and the immune system, and was fortunate to run into this platform with the CEO of this company, which is AI Wellness is the company, and working on basically, it's pretty crazy stuff. It's so innovative, and it's a massive, basically, hub for individuals that want to educate. So giving any doctor the opportunity, which many doctors have signed up on with us, and talking about their specialties, their basic knowledge, and then even patients can integrate into the platform, and other wellness individuals, basically integrate into this platform, where we actually the company provides sort of an avatar, your own avatar. But it's actually your digital twin, because it looks exactly like you. I got to tell you, in social media, my family's like, is it you? Is it your twin? The majority of times now it's
like Dr. Huynh is just like cracking up.
I'm sorry, there's my twin. And it enables you to
feeds the ego, right?
Yeah,
it feeds the ego, right?
It gives you that clone.
In a good way, yes.
It gives you sort of that clone,
yes.
And you feed it the information that you deem to educate the masses. And it basically, it educates. It's just a massive educator. And it's even actually a way to collaborate and bring in multi-specialties in that can actually help get the message out, help individuals that, individuals like ourselves, both of us, we basically spend a lot of times talking with patients, dealing with, maybe some issues, whatever it may be, company stuff, etc., as you know. But this basically facilitates educating and innovation.
Dr. Huynh, if you don't mind introducing yourself before we go into a lot of this stuff, because I know there's a lot of good information. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, I have a few chapters in my life. I used to be a corporate leader in Walgreens, and then I opened up my own independent compounding pharmacy where I really started learning about functional medicine, regenerative medicine with the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine and the Institute of Functional Medicine. And there I really see the value in terms of trying to help people get out of pain, trying to make them have them less dependent on opiate medication.
That's great.
So we
That's great.
apply bioenergetics, spiritual medicine, and technology into a way to help them let go of the emotional and physical stress that they go through, so that way their body reinterpret their pain differently. But recently, with the changes in COVID and everything, we created this higher vibration water using molecular hydrogen to help people enhance their energy and enhance their mindset. But because of my experience with pharmacy, supplements, and nutritional medicine and functional medicine, I'm collaborating with AI Wellness to bring out the holiday bundles to really look at the root cause of deficiency in our disease states, where we can provide base nutrition, enzyme, probiotic supplements to be the go-to before we get on medication. And how do we apply AI and technology?
Well, I'll tell
into
you,
everything?
for those watching and viewing, these two gentlemen are pretty fit. Like, I could tell, man. You guys take care of yourselves. This is important to you, right?
100%. I mean, for me, it's being exactly what he said a little bit ago, is just being proactive versus being reactive. The entire system is set up to be reactive, and if you don't think of the key things of supplementing correctly, the diet is like number one. Like, diet and exercise those are the two things you have control over every single day.
Totally
For
agree.
somebody listening right now, what does that mean? I know you say diet. What does that mean? What would you advise somebody on that?
It essentially means avoiding a lot of the food that we eat nowadays. Being Latinos, we love tortilla, we love rice.
We were just talking about that. Just
we
so
were
you guys
talking about
know.
that a little bit ago. But unfortunately now,
Cutting out the carbs, right?
Cutting
Because
out
it
the
converts
carbs.
into sugar, right?
But it's not even that so much. It's actually the majority of the food nowadays is so processed and it's so contaminated, especially here in the United States. If you look at simple differences of cereal, Fruit Loops.
yeah.
I'll give you a simple example. Fruit Loops made in Canada is not made the same as it made in the United
I
States.
saw a whole
Exactly.
story on that recently. That was
Yes.
pretty
Correct.
insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's contaminating, and it's causing a lot of individuals are essentially having these gluten intolerances, which is not heard of in Europe, gut issues, and unfortunately, my focus is the immune system. 60% of the immune system is in the gut. When the gut goes away, when you eat too much of something and it's somewhat contaminated, you have issues. You're going to start having heart issues. You're
Yeah.
going to get cancer. You're going to get neurodegenerative diseases, all these.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up. We've been on the show with other guests, and I brought up how during the pandemic, I ended up being diagnosed with prediabetes. And one of the things that I did to lose 40 pounds right away was I started drinking
Nice.
hot tea. So first I started eating clean. So I haven't drank a soda in like 3 years or so. Even though my nephews joke with me, have a soda, have a soda. I laugh about it. I look at that, I'm like, that's my enemy. I would never drink that again. I really look at it
Exactly.
as like with this anger, right? I ate very clean for a long time as far as like egg whites, spinach. That's when I first lost my 40 pounds. Started walking 10,000 steps a day, or, just getting in those steps every day. And
Nice.
I started seeing the weight, little by little, of course, started working out again. But more than anything, I started drinking hot tea, to your point of the gut, right? A lot of, ginger lemon tea, ginger peach, chamomile lavender to help me sleep at night. So I really started focusing a lot more on my gut and what I'm putting in it. So I love what you guys are talking about. Can we go a little bit into this product, if you don't mind sharing what's in it? What is it about? Please?
And we didn't give the name of the product.
You did, right? Didn't you earlier?
No,
Talk?
we were just talking about this water, and you held it up.
This is it right here, right?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
what's it-
one of the product that is gonna
Okay.
be in our
So what's it called?
Mind Body Matrix hydrogen rich water.
Okay.
It's one of the product that we're trying to help change
Yeah.
people, moving them from Gatorade and high sugar drink
Yes.
or sodas and the 0 calorie stuff that may be poisoning to, like, let's say our African American community, our Hispanic community, where they have this education embedded in them, thinking that 0 calorie, like saccharin, aspartame, stuff like that are good for them. But in reality, there is a possibility where it's causing malfunction in their insulin receptor that is making their diabetes worse, or it's not helping them in terms of their diabetic stuff. So we're looking at molecular hydrogens where we really help boost metabolism and give them the right antioxidant and the energy that they need as a different source.
You mentioned earlier City of Hope when we were talking, right? And
Yes.
how there's going to be, of course, this integrated oncology conference, right? That's coming up. We'll go into that. But recently we were at an event for City of Hope, and they talked a lot about the issue in the ethnic communities with high levels of cancer in the gut, right?
Yes.
I think City of Hope is really focusing on that a lot. Tell us a little bit about the conference that's coming up, or this whole platform that you guys are going to be a part of.
Sure. It's essentially there's going to be a lot of doctors, scientists, wellness individuals speaking at it. And then there will be these actual, what we just talked about, these assisted intelligence screens. There'll be screens everywhere. And in those screens, there will be digital twins of different doctors, different individuals that can answer longevity, wellness, and sort of integrative and functional medicine questions for you. Plus, there'll be talks on all of this. And it's going to be more focused on preventative and proactive. Besides having science aspects of it, I mean, I speak about cell therapies. One of my colleagues, Dr. Matt Halpert, will be there. He'll be talking about the future of, basically precision targeted killing of cancer using immunotherapies. These are basically when you stimulate your own immune system to charge and to kill what's in you that's foreign. Because your immune system becomes depleted as we age, it becomes old, it becomes exhausted. That's why we get all these, we're sick, we have cancer, a new virus comes in. The simple analogy I actually use is when COVID came, was you were now, you were a UFC fighter and you fought 5 guys, which are 5 different viruses. Now here comes number 6. Number 6 you're not going to be able to handle. So it's keeping your immune system just completely in check, so you're healthy enough to bring on the daily challenges that happen on every day.
Yeah, I got to tell you, this stuff is really good that we're bringing it to the forefront of the Hispanic community, right? Because as we all know, diabetes is one of the big issues we have in the Hispanic community. And so to help our community learn more, obviously the show's our community is your community, right? Help educate the community as far as, coming to this event and learning more about all of you doctors and what you're doing. How can one participate at this event? Is there a fee? Where do they go register? For those that are listening right now.
Yeah, there's probably going to be a registration somewhere.
Okay, we'll put a link.
Yes,
okay.
we'll put a link in there. But we encourage people to come, and really there's going to be the HERMES Longevity Lounge where it's experiential. They could try some of the greatest and latest technology in terms of how are we integrating all these into keeping you healthy, looking at more preventative type of medicine versus treatment. And so there's going to be a lot of fun stuff there. So we do encourage people to come on
give us the
25th
dates.
to 27th.
And where is it at?
October.
7.
Yes.
Where is it at?
It's at the Westin in Costa Mesa.
Okay.
Weston
Yes.
and Costa Mesa. Okay.
Correct.
And it is October 25th through the 27th. And then, I wanted to go more into the educational platform that, what is the future? What do you guys see happening? And what is the goal, right, with all of this?
Yeah, essentially when the CEO of the company of AI Wellness came up to me, and then a colleague of mine, Dr. Gideon Kwok, came up to me and talked to me about, hey, we're going to actually put this together. They've spent countless hours, tireless hours, just basically finding a way to, how do we get the word out to the masses? And everybody knows that it's going towards basically online platforms, educational platforms this way, is basically we as individuals, when we work in the wellness sector, it's you're so inundated with so much, it's just like so much work that it's hard to get out there and it's hard to talk to individuals on a regular basis. So if you have, what they do is they produce a digital twin of many of the educators, of wellness professionals, of all these different individuals. And now it serves as a hub. So like I said earlier, there can be, you know, I'm a scientist in cell therapies. There can be somebody that works in supplements, another doctor that works in supplements. There can be an oncologist, works in oncology, cardiologist, etc. If they're all combined in a hub, in an innovative hub, many of the answers and the questions that you may have, or anybody else, patients, other doctors, other wellness experts have, they can go directly to this educational platform. It's a very innovative platform that they can ask these questions and they can get answers from them. And it's just essentially, just think of the biggest educational wellness platform you can think of in the world. That's the goal. And it's bringing as many people together to be proactive on the longevity front more than anything else, because all of us want to live what we call health span, not a crappy lifespan.
Yeah, we recently had a health and wellness event a couple months back with our health and wellness committee, and it was very interesting to see a lot of the different vendors that showed up that day that wanted to participate, and it was very interesting to listen to the audience, the feedback of, you know, today's generation is really thinking right and really learning more about what they're putting in their body, right, and how it's affecting them. Like you said earlier off the air, you know, the whole sugar thing, right? When they tell you it's no sugar, but in reality there is sugar in there, right? And that's great that the young new generations are starting to look at how important it is. You know, what advice would you guys give these young new generations that are probably watching these podcast shows, that is important, that to continue to keep an eye out as far as not so much maybe the diet, but more, right, health and wellness?
Yeah, you are your own free will. Don't let that be taken away from you. Spend that time, invest in your health, because there's an old Indian proverb: a man who have many dreams have his health. And so the man who only have one dream don't have his health. So your health is the most important thing. So you got to treat yourself like the $1 million racehorse as the priority.
Yeah, it's interesting you say all that, because a lot of my cousins, you mentioned earlier Mexico, right? They come and visit often and we sit and talk, and it's really interesting to talk as far as their mindset and my mindset as far as life. And they always say to me, you guys are always stressed out. You guys are going 100 miles an hour. That's not the way we live over there. And I'm like, what do you mean? Are you serious? Don't you guys live? And they're like, no, man. I mean, there's this better balance of like, yeah, work is important, career is important, but this is more important, right? Your health and wellness, keep the stress down, take care of yourself. I mean, you mentioned that, right? That in different countries, right, we're eating so differently.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you have to get that, exactly what you said, that balance. You have to make time for yourself. You know, we work whatever, I work 16 hours a day sometimes, but no matter what, at a juncture, I say stop, the phone goes off, I'll get into the gym, I'll, have a red light therapy, I get in red light therapy, the weekends I'll focus on breathing exercises, I take time to myself. This way, when the stress and the challenge comes, you're 100% ready for it. Especially, we have to be on all the time.
Yeah,
you got to be on, and you got to be ready.
You're like the example of what you're preaching, right?
You have to, and the only way to do it is clearly having the balance and setting boundaries to make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Can you share a little bit about the red light? I know that's big right now. I've been seeing it everywhere. Can you share with the audience? How does that help you personally? Like, why do you like it? Why do you do it? What can you share about that?
What I can tell you is, personally, I can't say I've done any blood labs or anything like that. I'm all about looking at concrete evidence, but there's a significant amount of scientific data that it shows it reduces inflammation. There's certain wavelengths that reduce inflammation, and then there's other wavelengths that actually improve skin health. So that's two different things that it does. For me personally, like for instance, I'll go into a sauna because there's a significant amount of evidence that helps with cardiovascular health. And then after that, I'll hit the red light. And then after that, I'll even go do sometimes a cold plunge. It depends on how awake I want to get.
He's going hardcore, huh? Man,
Yeah,
he
I
goes
know.
bam, bam, bam. Like
He's
he's
stacking
doing it
them.
all, huh?
Yeah,
stacking them.
Stacking them. But the thing about doing that
Now, is there a risk to that you're doing too much, or is that's okay?
It's okay as long as you keep it. You don't exaggerate it. You have to watch. For instance, you're not going to do a cold plunge for more than 3 minutes. You're going to be in there. You're going to watch out. You just have to watch your own health and see what the limits or sort of what you can actually adjust to. I'll do a sauna for 20 minutes. I'll do a red light for 15 minutes, and then I'll do a quick cold plunge, and I'll feel fantastic. Especially I do this. I mean, when I have more time, weekends. But anytime you work out and you integrate any of these type of things, and you eat right. Because ultimately, there's nothing worse than having, instead of that one burrito, 2 burritos, and then you feel horrific.
It's interesting you mentioned all these therapeutic things, right? Because when I was growing up, I grew up playing football. I was a running back. So I often would turn my ankles running the ball. Back then, you didn't have AstroTurf fields or whatever. It was all grass. And I remember going into the locker room with my trainer on a regular basis. And it wasn't like I was going to stop playing. It was just therapy. I was therapy for my ankle, therapy for my body, my shoulders. And a lot of it was ice cold heat. So he'd be like, there's the bucket, stick your ankle in it, and stick my foot in it full of ice, right? And then he would say, okay, now stick your foot over here in the whirlpool. And now you feel all the tingling, right? And it was everything was for inflammation, right?
Yep.
So it's
Yes.
interesting how we were doing that in the 80s and 90s
Yes.
for our ankle, but now we're doing it for the whole body. Like you're plunging into a cold, like the
Yes.
whole body. It's not just an ankle, right?
Yes. So going back to the whole concept, if the listener at home, they don't have the technology that we have here that is available to us due to cost or availability or access, one of the concept really comes back to that we talked about is hormetic stress. How do we create enough stress to the point where we recover from that and create resiliency versus creating stress, neither physical, emotional, or mental, and it keep going where then we can't recover, and then it affects our inflammatory cascade, it affects our immune system. And so there's a way at home where you can just take a cold shower and then get out, and then take a hot shower and then get out, so you can rotate with that without really having lots of cost to you too.
That is such a great advice you just gave. Cold shower, hot shower. I mean, right? People don't think it's something as simple as that. Right?
They don't. There's simple what are called nowadays these like sort of biohacks that you can actually do that don't people like I can't afford that device. You don't need that device. Guess what? You want to do pulse electric magnetic field? Oh, I don't have a mat. I don't have that. No. Take your shoes off, go outside in the grass, and stand there for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
It's proven that you can increase nitric oxide production by doing so.
Yeah.
Which is, pretty neat. Now you've increased blood flow just by doing that.
Yes.
Exactly what you just said. Just take a cold shower, get in that cold shower, turn it on. It sucks, doesn't feel good, but after that, you will feel so awake that you're ready to energize and charge your day.
It's interesting you mentioned the grass, putting your feet in the grass.
The grounding effect.
Yes, I have a great story real quick I'll share with my mom. So during the pandemic, the seniors were scared obviously to go out in the open, and so they're always home. And once in a while, I'd look out the back window of my house and I'd see my mom walk out to the backyard. And of course, my mom's from Michoacan, Mexico, born and raised there, right? And she would go and hug her tree, big tree.
Exactly.
She would just hug it, right? And I knew what was going on, but one day I asked her, I just wanted to ask her, Mom, why do you do that, right? She says, it gives me energy. It gives me life. It gives me, And it was
Exactly.
interesting. Recently, the city made us cut the tree because of what it was doing to the fence. And, there was just a big tree. She was heartbroken. Like for her, that was like, I can't believe we have to cut that tree. I'm like, well, Mom, I know this because the fences, the neighbors are mad. It's breaking the fence, the roots. Beautiful big tree. And so it's interesting how to some of those folks, right, that are old school from Mexico, hugging the tree was that energy that she really loved, right?
Yes. Sometimes we're not aware, but spiritually, the tree has its own soul. And when we are energetically talking, emotionally hugging the tree, we're spiritually talking the tree, but the tree and the earth, the ground, the grass and everything has these negative ionic charge on them.
Really?
And our body's actually picking that, and it's balancing out the charges in our body that will increase vascular blood flow, but
Wow.
it's charging your body too. Your body is not neurobiology, it's not just chemistry, biology, but it's also energetically and electrically.
It's like a doctor at the house, right? That you can go
Yes,
get
yep,
that
exactly.
medicine.
Yep.
Paul has a question. Paul?
On the AI wellness, is it just recorded answers, or is it actually interactive? Do you actually, because some of these AI systems will actually put you in touch with a doctor. This is more like a catalyst, more an educational tool, an informational tool.
It's twofold. It's actually, one is exactly what you just said, where it can put you in contact with somebody by just, it'll ask specific, it'll give you specific answers. But now there's an integrative model where we essentially feed it all the information, and then based on the information you feed it, a patient can stand in front of it and basically get answers, simple answers that they would normally. I mean, we're inundated with questions on a regular basis,
Right.
And now we feed all of these in there, and in very, very fine detail, that you can just go and stand in front of a screen that looks like you're actually talking to me, let's say, and you'll ask the questions, and it'll give you the answers.
And then if you need more than that,
And
then you can contact them.
correct, yeah, there'll be a QR code on the bottom, which is the way they set up now. You'll just scan the QR code, and you can contact them, and you can get more questions answered. More details.
Where is this all going? What is the future of this? I know we only have a few minutes, Paul. Paul's giving me the stinky eye already. But where is it? This is really intriguing, by the way.
This is the future
great.
of medicine. Yeah.
Yes. Where is this future of medicine? Where do you see it? Where, as doctors, I know you're a scientist. Let's not call it mad scientist, but where do you see it? Look, he points at it. He's like, yes, he is. Where would you like to see it go? What would you envision?
I'd like to see all three, actually: science, medicine, and individuals, because we're all unique in our own way. It becoming a complete precision thing, where you will see at some juncture in the future that an individual can probably go in front of a screen or something and have an idea of what's going on with them, and have an idea of somewhat of a simplified approach. Because if you've noticed lately, a lot of it's going towards a lot more simpler approaches, a lot more therapeutics, even going simpler approaches, stimulating your own system, which is precision medicine,
Yes.
to actually heal whatever the problem is. Taking it in the context of educating a lot more with the diet, the nutrition, and somewhere along the line, sort of fighting back on the masses with the food issue and the water issue that we're having here in the U.S.
A lot of issues, right? A lot of issues.
And does it ever lead to wearables or even implantables where you can get my blood pressure, you can get my
There
heart
you go.
rate, all that stuff?
There's wearables already. The wearables now are getting. It's funny because you had version 1. I've had version 1, version 2, version 3.
You're holding up, that's a
Now
ring
there's
that
4.
somehow...
It's a ring.
Yeah, he's
it's a
not doing
ring.
something else, guys, on
It's
video.
He's telling me to shut up
He's
here,
showing
right?
the
It's a
ring.
ring.
He's showing
And-
the ring.
Yeah, and at first it
Let me
would
see,
just,
can I see that?
yeah, and at first it would just track your sleep.
Interesting.
Serves as a
And
wedding
does
band,
that
too.
connect through Wi-Fi to the internet?
So light.
It connects through
It was
Wi-Fi
heavy.
to an app, which actually AI Wellness has a phenomenal one that's going to be launched next week.
There you go.
Come check it out. But, this one started off with a simple just heart rate, walking, sleep, focused on sleep.
Yes.
Now it's already measuring your
Wow.
oxygen levels at night while you sleep. For instance, if you're a snorer, it's going to tell you that you're lacking oxygen at night. Now it's registering live heart rate.
All the stuff you had to go into a doctor's office
Correct.
to get.
You now know on your phone.
Well,
Look
it was
at your
funny
phone.
because years ago I joked with my
Power
wife
Health.
about having a ring that has a GPS to track, like where I'm at, because I'm always doing events, right? Like I take it off and it beeps, beep, beep, beep. We joke about. I seriously joked
What a
about
great
this
idea
with my wife
for
like
women.
10 years ago, right? I said they're gonna track me on this, And today it's crazy to think like the ring you're wearing can gather all this information from our bodies. I mean, it's just amazing. It's mind blowing, right? Like to think it went from a watch to a ring now.
Can I go one step further since we're spending another minute? We've had a lot of episodes on the show, on our station about this kind of topic, future of medicine, telemedicine, wearables and stuff. And one of the problems is, so you've gathered all this data. Will the doctors actually use it? Will they get compensated by Medicare? Who will watch the information? How will they use the
Paul,
information?
it's not always about money.
But that's one of the things keeping it back
These
right
guys,
now.
look at these guys, man. They actually care about what they're doing, man.
I'm just saying, a lot of doctors are resisting it
He's
because
so
it's
passionate.
more work to
I can
do.
see the passion, like how much this is important to him. Don't get me wrong, the money's important, right?
They will. Yeah, no, the money's important, but
He's
but,
like,
but
yes,
the health,
money's important.
But the health is more important
Yes.
because without your health, you have absolutely nothing. It
That's
doesn't
what he said
matter.
earlier, right?
I'm just saying we've seen
You have-
pushback from doctors who say one more thing I got to do, and am I getting compensated to do it?
Listen, Paul, the Medicare and the Medi-Cal and all that, that's a whole different show.
Okay.
How a healthcare system, and I know obviously being in healthcare, having our own hospice company, how you bill and collect for your services is a whole different world from what we actually do as a service,
Yeah.
right? Like what we do in hospice is a whole different world from how you bill and collect it.
And I think it's
that's
creating
why
a
I can
pushback.
understand your passion.
Yes.
We're very passionate about our patients, how we care for them at the end of their life, what we do for them. We're there till the end, their families right the after. But you guys, I could tell you're passionate about what you're doing. But yes, to Paul's point, obviously we hope that in the future you're also compensated, right, by our healthcare system.
And one of the reason that Raphael and I really love working with AI Wellness because they have give back programs to nonprofit organization, and many of them, and some of them that should be mentioned in here is like Root Cause Promise, Hope Worldwide, Coalition for Radical Life Extension, Go Meets Golden, great teams and stuff like that. And most of the events that we run, if we make some profit, some of that profit actually go to these nonprofit events.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think that's, I mean,
Special Olympic platforms, mental health platforms, veterans platforms. I'm a
Yes.
veteran myself.
Thank you. Thank
All,
you for your
all of
service,
all of that combined is the concept behind AI Wellness and getting the message out there.
So as we run out of time here, where do they go find information about that AI wellness program and about your event coming up the 25th through the 27th, the Hermes Longevity Lounge? How do they find out about both?
is there a website you guys want to share from your business? Maybe they can go find some of this.
Or is it on AI Wellness?
Yes, on AIwellness.ai.
.ai.
Okay. Yeah. Again, folks, this is going to be, of course, October 25th through the 27th. It's City of Hope's Integrative Oncology Conference.
Yes.
Right.
At the Westin, right across from
That's the Westin
South
South
Coast Repertory
Plaza.
Yeah.
in Costa Mesa.
In Costa Mesa.
In
correct.
Costa Mesa. Wow, this stuff is very powerful. We could probably sit here forever and talk all this good stuff. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you very much.
We take a lot of pride in honoring our veterans. Our event tonight, actually, we have about 10 Marines. They're going to be there. We're giving them a little something special. So you guys are welcome to come out
I want
tonight.
to play with his decoder ring there, whatever it is. It's so
There you go.
special.
Yes. Well, again, thank you for what you're doing overall for health and wellness for families, for patients. I mean, obviously mental health is a big issue right now.
100%.
So the fact, I mean, I loved
Yes.
how you guys went into all the layers of how this can affect us physically, mentally, the kind of like the burnout, right? And the solutions. We'd love to have you guys come back. We'll go more into it. Paul's giving me the stinky eye. First and foremost, I want to say thank you again to Farmers and Merchants Bank, which is the business since 1907. Remembering what matters always has guided us on a steadfast path to growth and security. They honor Hispanic Heritage Month, which of course today's podcast was brought to you by Farmers and Merchant Bank. To both doctors, thank you for being here. We appreciate all you're doing, and continue to help our community where,
Thank you.
here our podcast is all
Thank you.
about that.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you guys. Take it away, Paul.
Well, there you have it. One more reason to tune in each and every time to meet our community. Powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.